I'm Jason Goliath.
And I'm Nicholas Goliath.
And this is a new podcast called The Happiness Economy, where we try and unpack, figure out, investigate, interrogate, I think holistically understand what is happiness even.
What is it to you? What is it to me? Is it different? Is it the same? What do you do to chase your happiness? Just chase it. We want to chat to people who we believe have found their happiness or are on the way to finding their happiness and find out what it is that makes them happy.
So, if you're happy, we're happy. The Happiness Economy with Nicholas and Jason Goliath. Tell her what you must. Welcome everybody. Joining us on the Happiness Economy podcast today is one of our favorite human beings, not only in life, in the industry, but definitely in the world. The great, the fantastic. We did this for our female audience, and for those of Jonathan Boynton-Lee, and the hungry lions of the internet went crazy.
No, honestly, guys, I just must say I'm such a big fan of you two, and in a world now where there are so many people that are famous for absolutely no reason, you guys deserve all the recognition and the fame you got, because you guys are I can swear, right?
Yeah.
Because you guys are fucking talented.
Brother.
Right?
Thank you.
I feel like
brother.
everyone has asked, can I swear?
Every
guest.
At some, but it's also shit. Can I say
Yeah,
that?
you say it first.
You at least
But,
came with deep respect for the platform.
Sometimes it's just, that word is the adjective. There's no other adjective that can describe it at times, and you need that swear word
Dude,
to
that's
describe
what I say to my lighties. I always say to my lighties, swearing is okay as long as you're using it correctly.
with purpose.
Yes, it's got to be a descriptive word.
Exactly.
It's not cold, it's fucking cold.
Exactly. Then it
Like,
just sums
then
it
I
up,
don't
bro.
mind. Then I don't mind you swearing as a child. But if you're just swearing for no reason, I'm like, this is how you get gemoed. Come on.
It has its
Oh, there's
place.
not enough milk for my cornflakes. Fuck! No, relax.
No, you don't buy the milk or the
Yes,
cornflakes.
you have
Shut the hell up.
cornflakes. You have brand name. K. It doesn't say
Yeah.
Pocomo on your box.
It has its place. It has its place.
Pocomo. You know what it is. You know what it is. Local is lekker. Local is lekker. I appreciate that, brah. And that's why I'm so excited to have you. Is you're an animal that we can't quite put our fingers on, and I think that's why you're here. So generally, we just invite people who, based on what we see on social media and that little kind of window that people have to our lives, if somebody appears happy there, we interrogate that happiness here. It's as simple as that. And the journey has been us kind of trying to just collect data from people who we perceive to be happy in some way, shape, or form. We also have come a journey. I think when we started the podcast, we believed happiness was the way we all believe it, like the pursuit of happiness, like one day everything's just going to be okay, and one day we're all just going to be happy. And I think what the process has taught us so far is that happiness only exists in the now. It only exists in the moment.
It's not the pursuit of happiness, it's the happiness of the pursuit.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So you are an interesting one for us, and we try to get straight into it. So I'm going to give my perception of your highlights. And then you can put them through.
Also, because I hardly ever post on social media, so this is going to be interesting.
You hardly ever post with clothes on social media. To say you hardly post is not fair, but you hardly post. I know exactly where all of those birds are placed. You know those birds? I know where every bird is
stolen
placed.
my birds.
I have.
You've stolen my
I
birds.
used those birds for Strictly Come Dancing 2015. Can you believe it's 9 years since that phone call, bruh?
That's crazy.
It's been 9 years since that phone call. For those of you pretending not to notice, that was Eric's duck cop that just came into.
That was like that oak on the rugby try to dive out the way of the.
Yes, 100%.
the sound guy.
Straight through, yeah.
Eric
Just
came,
come into shot.
came in like
Yeah.
like the president lifting the World Cup. There we go. There we go. So my perception of you, I know you first. Like before I know you. I'm like, this is the guy from Top Billing that everybody loves, that just seems to have his life in order. I then become mates with the late, great Simba. And Simba was an animal that couldn't be explained. Like Simba would have been the perfect guest on this podcast. In terms of somebody who understood chasing the light, who understood where you come from doesn't define where you're going, and also somebody who understood that you can be the greatness. Like that, half man, half amazing. You meet people that say things, then you meet people like that who live that thing every single day. Then,
well, he's here. I know he's here.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm getting goosebumps right now.
He's on my arm. Yeah, he's right. He's got his
because
location on my arm.
That guy spoke about you all the time. I thought it was one of those TV bromances because you were on the same show, and it was nice. I've been on shows like that with people. Me and Waras, for example, been pretending to be friends. Waras, I'm joking. But it was the way Simba spoke about you, in the sense that he was like, that guy's my spirit animal. Then I'm like, man, you're a Zimbabwean. That guy, the old blue eyes over there, you're saying you and him are the same. And he goes, I can't explain it. That guy's got the fabric of a human being that I've never experienced. Then I got to hang with you, and we've worked on shows together. And I have to agree, you are one of the most unique individuals that I've ever met. And therefore, we can't wait to go through the top 3. So, Nicholas, just so that you're not just quiet, what do we do here? What is GAP?
Oh yeah, so you've seen the live show
I love my live
as
show,
well,
yeah.
and the gap for those of you who are watching for the first time is the things that you need when you're feeling down. Those are the key points to go to when things are not feeling right in your life. It's the gratitude, acceptance, and perspective, or perception, which we have recently discovered have 2 different meanings but the same meaning. Because your perception, what is the thing? Your perception is the way you see the entirety of the thing.
Yeah, your perception is the way you see what you're going through right now.
Yes.
Your perspective is the way you choose to look.
Yes.
In the greater picture at all the things. At all the things. So and I like that they're a little bit different, but they also work.
But they're also the same.
They also work at the same thing. So, brah, I'm not gonna lie, but you're one of the, in terms of somebody who shines gratitude. I always like. One of the greatest ministers was a guy, Nick knows him, Stephen Simpkins. One of the greatest Christians I've ever met in my life, simply because he was one of those guys that didn't have to tell you he's Christian. He was one of those guys that if you spend 2 minutes with him, he had a light, he had like an aura, he had a thing that you'd spend 2 minutes with him and go, brah, what do you have? Like, what are you on? I want that. I want that. Then when it comes to gratitude, I feel like every time we've spoken, your gratitude is overwhelming all the time. So what does gratitude mean to John?
Everything else is a byproduct of gratitude. Happiness is a byproduct of gratitude.
Yes.
And for me, I think gratitude is the easiest thing for me because of where life started for me. So I was adopted.
Oh, yeah?
So subconsciously, I think from birth,
Yeah.
I was given a second chance.
Yes.
And I had that gratitude ingrained in me from a couple of weeks old. That my life could have been so different.
100%.
And I mean, I work a lot with these adoption homes and kids. There's a point you get to where you're in and out of foster homes. If someone doesn't adopt you by a certain age, and then these kids end up on the street, there's 13-year-olds committing murder. It's a
because you end up in a system that doesn't exist. Because they talk about you're going to go into the system,
and you're constantly feeling like no one wants you, and you get angry, and it's this anger that. So it could have easily gone that direction for me, but 2 of the most beautiful human beings on earth chose me and gave me a second chance. So I think from birth, like gratitude has just come so easily. I'm grateful for the
for everything.
That's the thing about gratitude is it's being grateful for what you have right now. Like you said, power of now, not wishing for things you don't. So give thanks for what is working.
Yes.
For the little things you sometimes take for granted, and you give thanks for these things, and that gratitude reciprocates, and it gives you more to be grateful for.
Do you play the odds in your mind? Because the odds of actually being adopted. So if you're an orphan, the odds of actually being adopted are incredibly low. The odds of being adopted by the type of family and the type of parents that you were able to have. I mean, I know the relationship intimately. You and your parents are closer than most biological kids and their parents, or were closer with your late dad.
And I found my mother, my biological mother. We've got a great relationship.
How old are you when you found her?
It was about, I've got the date on my arm, I still don't know how to read Roman numerals very well, though. So
So it could be the wrong date. But
yeah. I've got the wrong hospital on my arm as well. I've got a lot of
you're basically colored, bruh.
wrong dates and wrong
You're basically-
locations. But this is
you're
my
basically
sister's fault. My
coloured.
sister gave me the wrong hospital. But anyway, it was about 2008, I think.
Yeah.
I haven't found my dad yet. That relationship ended when he ejaculated me.
Oh,
He's apparently a very difficult person.
So colored. So
Yeah.
colored. I love it.
Yeah. But in adoption circles, you got your tummy mommy,
Yeah.
and you got your forever mommy.
Yeah.
And that's my mom. You know,
Yeah.
the mom who raised me.
So
But sorry, we went off. I think we went off.
no,
track there.
it
What
was
the-
I kind of took us off. So do you play the odds in your mind? So
Yeah, man,
you're going through something. Do you have to go back often and go, listen, the odds of me having a good life were nearly impossible.
Yeah.
And I've already won. Is that
Yeah.
the position?
It's the lottery. It's like winning. It's the chances are even better than the lottery of getting a life like that. You know, getting the life I've had.
Yes.
No, and I
the
feel like
parents.
you have to play the odds because there's times where it's just no matter what you're going through, it's difficult to find the gratitude. No matter how much stuff you've got to be grateful for,
Yeah.
there are days where
It is
it's just
difficult.
rough.
But I saw a crazy stat the other day, and I wish I remember the numbers. I was just so taken aback.
Yeah.
Anyone who has a roof over their head
Yeah.
and food on the table puts you in a very small percentage of the global population, and that alone is something to be unbelievable. There's two things right there that we take for granted that
100%,
already puts you in a very small population,
What?
percentage of the population. Driving here
Yeah.
is a very big lesson in gratitude.
Big
See how
eye-opener.
people live.
Man, I watched a video that changed my perception of somebody the other day. I judged somebody too earlier. TikToker runs a big group. In fact, I'm gonna name them. They call themselves FKN Army, right? It's this Malcolm and his fro, and somebody comments, and it's himself, his fro, and he's always posting his helper, and somebody comes at him saying, white people are struggling. I can't believe you're helping this K word, types it out, and really goes in. You're probably sleeping with her, And then so opens his video, and when I see he presents as what we've kind of stereotypically been trained to assume, that's a racist. You know what I mean. So when you see it doesn't come across. Then the makes a statement and speaks straight to the camera, and you can for the first time feel rage. And the speaks about, I don't understand how you can say this. Of course I love black people. I also love Chinese people. I'm a people person. When anybody says they're a people person, if they don't love all people, you're not a people person. And then he addresses this misconception that he's helping a black person while white people are struggling. And then the goes, I agree. White people are going through a very difficult time. And then he goes, but if you're a white person and you're really struggling, let me just point out a couple of things. He says, when you drive to work every day, who do you see walking towards taxi ranks? Black people. He said, when you go to any town in the country, if you drive just beyond the nice part of any town, what do you see, and who do you see living in shacks? It's people of color. So he was just like, with all due respect, I agree that everybody is kind of struggling, but if we're honest about what the true struggle,
And that's the perception.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So we can. I think. Let's jump straight there. Do you think it's easier for you as a South African to manage your perceptions, to feel a type of way? Because, I don't feel like there's anything that I've ever seen. I've seen you hurt. I've seen you down, but I've never seen your spirit break. Is it because your perception is so strong? Is it because you're so close to your gratitude? How do you manage that?
I've learnt over many years of horrible heartbreak and dark places and near-death experiences and to pull myself out of that. So you talk about your scales, you've got your gratitude scales, everything like that. So I'm a 5, but I'm on the happiness scale. But
happiness index,
I'm a 2.5 happy, but I'm a 2.5 sad. And together, I'm a 5.
Oof, say that again, 'cause that's so important. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a half. I'm 2.5 happy, I'm 2.5 sad, but together, it's living the fullness of life. It's the highs and the lows. And I love a good cry, and I love being in that dark place because I know that something's coming from that dark place. The darkest times of my life have led to the most incredible times of my life.
That's that when you're going through hell, just keep going.
Exactly, it's
mentality.
that journey.
Just-
It's
yeah.
the man who loves walking will walk further than the man who loves the destination.
You're dropping the bombs one by one. So let's contain the explosions and not waste the energy. I like that sentence. David Kibuka goes, everything is helping you. And he goes, when you believe that everything is helping you, even in your darkest days, instead of looking at the problem, your brain will go, oh, there's something to learn here. There's an
100%, yeah.
opportunity here.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? That
Yes.
people think that happiness is just there's no sadness, but you'll never be able to appreciate the happiness without the
The
sadness.
sweet ain't
And-
so sweet without the sour, you know.
And the sour is also part of the journey.
It's so
that we're on.
important.
That's where the
So
texture
important.
comes from.
Yeah.
That's where the fabric comes from. That's where the strength comes from.
Yeah.
And is it then, because we had Carvin Goldstone here, and Carvin spoke about the fact that his dad was an orphan, which meant the levels of gratitude in their house. He was like, everything for his dad was amazing. It's like, it's so hard to be sad. You know what I mean? He's like, yo, we each have our own bed. Pa, 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 pa. You know what I mean?
That's me,
like,
bro.
Like
The smallest things, dude.
small
The
things
smallest
just
things will set you off.
keep pushing. So how do you manage that in the moment? How do you manage that in the moment where something you really wanted doesn't happen, or something goes wrong, or you lose your dad?
I feel it. I just, you know, there's American Beauty is one of my favorite movies. He talks about sometimes there's so much beauty in the world, you feel like your heart's going to explode.
Yes.
And you don't know how to take it, but then you
Yes.
just remember to relax and let it wash over you like rain. That's how I handle it. I feel everything. I don't fight the feelings. But even in those moments, there's gratitude because you're not mourning the death. You're grateful for the moments you had when he was alive.
Oh.
That's a
the
very
perception.
difficult,
It's hell of a difficult, but
because society doesn't teach us to deal with loss like that.
no, and there's no playbook for it, man.
No,
Because I dealt
no.
differently with Simba's loss. and
100%.
I've lost another 2 family members recently, and it's every time is different. But you learn how to deal with it, and the pain never goes away. And
I want to just clarify this. It's not that anybody looks forward to the pain. It's
No,
just
not at
that you
all.
accept that there has to be pain.
you learn how to you live with it.
You learn how to live.
And it takes experience because, you know, always that first heartbreak is always going to be the worst because you haven't had the experience.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That first breakup with
100%.
the woman that
You-
you
you-
think you're going to spend the
No,
rest of your life with.
yeah,
You're convinced.
You get confused. Your body does things. You
And it-
feel pain in places that you're not supposed to feel
And my
pain.
nephew's a teenager now, and it's happened to him recently, his first
Oh.
girlfriend, and you can see it in
Oh.
the eyes, and you know, but you got to be honest, and you're going to, this is probably not going to work out. And
Get used to this feeling, boy.
and it didn't. But, you know, and that's how it is. You learn through
It's
life.
terrifying because I have a teenager.
Yeah, it's coming.
A teenager who's
Oh, no.
and he's a soft.
And he'll be
No, but
convinced that
he's
this is the
gonna-
one. The
you
marriage
mix-
will be planned. It'll be.
He's going to be the one causing the pain, Nicholas's teenager.
bruh.
He's got his father's smile.
But he's also got his father's emotional state.
yes, he does.
He's very,
Soft
very
in the
soft
heart.
and
Yeah, we're all
gentle.
softies.
Soft in
And
the
that's
heart.
it's a beautiful thing, bro. The fact that you're able to feel, and because I feel
so
like
good.
society,
It's taken
especially
time,
with-
eh? It
yeah.
has taken time, and it's not easy, like you said.
yes,
Because it's not nice. It's not lekker
No.
no,
to feel that heartbreak. Your
No.
heart literally breaking. It's a horrible thing. But then I love a good cry, and then anything will set you off, and you'll see someone on the side of the road, and you'll give them a 5 Rand coin, and you see the gratitude in their eyes, and then you're crying all the way home, and it's like, but it's so important, especially with men now, you know, to express.
Can
and
we
feel
just say
and
that
cry.
you are far nicer a human being than you need to be in life? And I say that because I want people to take note
Yes.
of that fact that you don't have to be a nice guy. You don't have to feel, because you're Jonathan Boynton-Lee. You
I want to translate. Nicholas is saying that if he looked like Jonathan, he'd be an asshole 24/7.
Of course,
Nicholas
my
is-
man.
So, you know, Nick's dad has blue eyes. Your Polly's eyes are blue.
Yeah.
If Nick had his father's eyes, like your eyes, because
Bruh.
Nick's
No, but
dad's
he's
eyes...
already got beautiful. It's not your muddy brown.
No,
it's
he's
like-
got a good
it's
eye.
like
I got a
blue
special,
brown.
yeah, I got a
He's
special
eye.
brown.
He's got a good eye, but
Yeah.
that brown already makes him a little bit correct. But if it was blue like his father...
I mean, I'm currently writing jokes about how, as a comedian, one of the first rules about comedy is that you cannot be too good looking.
Is that your curse, boy?
That's what must I do? Because I know.
I love that he brought it up on the episode where an actual good-looking person is here. So we have a straight reference to Nicholas's bullshit
Yes.
right now.
No, bruh. You can't be too good looking because the audience doesn't trust you. In terms of humor, like you, they'll trust because you do top billing and other nice things. But like for comedy, they won't laugh at your jokes if you're too good looking. Then I was like, I also realized that that's why I had bad skin as a kid.
Just for balance.
That's why I don't have blue eyes, because I would have been unstoppable.
God doesn't give with both hands. You can't have the looks and you can't have the looks.
No. No. And I accept that. I will gladly accept that because I have accepted that.
I think you're sexy, bro. I don't know.
agree. I am sexy.
Especially,
but
you know what? I was watching
imagine?
your podcast the other day, and your profiles are very sexy.
No, listen, Nick and I got a
Which
good.
by default makes me look sexier, because you know that thing in the club where there's a two hotties standing on
shut
either
your
side
mouth.
of it.
No.
Shut your
And
bloody
then it
mouth.
makes them
Shut your
Lies.
mouth.
perspective. It's the perspective.
You know, the
No,
perspective is when you are blooming with 2 4s, you easily look like a 10. Easily.
No, we are
that's
not
what-
4s, Nicholas.
No, man, no.
We are 7s. Speak for
least.
yourself as a 4. But I will say this trio right here. Let me tell you, it's like a menu that has everything. It's like you're at a restaurant. You know, when you invite to a restaurant that will sell you a T-bone and sushi and seafood broil
This
and
is 8
curry.
course. This is fine dining.
whatever
It's
you want to. Yeah, this is it's a
Yeah.
dream experience.
Chow for days.
We've got Nicholas, for those of you that like the face of danger. We've got me, for those of you that like to eat in the winter time, maybe you cholesterol on your plate. And then we've got if David Higgs prepared a face. If the chef from Marble plated your plate, you know what I mean? Something that's like, it's creamy, but it's still spicy at the same time. You know what I mean? It's creamy, but it's still spicy. I like that. I don't know how we got so
got
so
sidetracked. But yeah,
sidetracked.
being a good person.
Yeah.
But you guys are as well. But it's I'm sure for you as well. It just seems like the natural thing that your service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on Earth.
The bomb drop.
You
know what I mean?
Bomb dropper.
You
This is,
thought this bra is just handsome.
No, but this is this is stuff. I
yes.
do a lot of reading.
No,
and I
100%.
don't know who said. Someone said that. Probably I don't know. I think it was The Rock or something. But the point is, whatever space you're taking up here on Earth naturally is what you should be giving back. It's your rent you pay.
Absolutely.
And to me, that's, you speak about happiness, and I think if I'm honest with myself, I'm happiest when I'm giving back.
Yeah.
It's about trying to seek happiness for yourself. It'll elude you. Seek happiness for others. You'll find it in yourself.
So I had a realization once where I'm a very selfish person because it makes me so happy to do things for other people. It's not that I want to help you. It's just that I feel really good helping you. So then I just find myself doing that more and more. And I think it's the same thing where you almost, I want to say it's a selfish thing that you're doing, but you're doing it for others because the like you're saying, the joy of serving, of helping somebody, it brings me so much happiness in my life. It doesn't matter what it is. In any situation, whether it's dropping something off for somebody, giving somebody a lift, or giving the person at the robot the extra little bit of cash that I have on me.
Yeah, small little things.
No,
Yeah.
I think that there's a thin line. I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with admitting how good it feels to do good.
Yeah.
And I think that line is blurred and broken by people who kind of do the good to advertise the good.
Yeah.
So like for me, you've probably done 5 good things today, but you haven't told me about those things. You haven't felt the need. You did those things for you. So yes, it is self-indulgent, but I think self-indulgent rather than selfish, because you are helping. So for example, Mojak once said to me, "Oh my God, I realized I'm quite a selfish person."
Yes.
But there's nothing wrong with it.
No, listen to this. His story was so great. He was like, "I realized I'm quite a selfish person." I said, what do you mean? He said, "No, if I'm eating a packet of chips and you come to me and you ask for chips, I would rather buy you your own packet of chips than share my chips.
That's someone who just doesn't like sharing food.
with you." Yeah. No, but he said he always thought he was a generous guy
Yes.
because he's bought so many people chips. In the meantime, he realized I'm actually a selfish guy because I just don't like sharing my chips. So much so, I would rather buy you chips. So then I'm like, I can appreciate that kind of, because the middle word is acceptance. And hearing that from Mojak was something that helped me kind of accept a lot of that in myself, because when it comes to food, let's not play games. I'm a very similar guy. I would in many instances rather buy you your own plate than let you touch on my plate. And then I go, I think all of those ways are fine, because I just think that I wish that one of the main objectives of any thought process or any thought leader would simply be the old rule of first do no harm. Like in whatever you do. So for me, when you say you're selfish, I can lean into the selfishness if your selfishness cause harm to anybody.
Yeah,
If that self-indulgence caused any harm, I can be like, hold up, wait a minute. It's not, you know what I mean? What you're doing is the wrong thing. And there's thin lines there. In terms of acceptance, John, you've been through a lot of phases.
I accept a lot, man.
In your life, but when I work with you, there's not only a deep joy for the industry that I kind of get from you, and you, unlike me, you're in love with all sides of the camera. Like you're in love with the whole industry. Like for me, I like the stage. I like this side of the camera. Don't ask me to touch buttons on the other side. Don't ask me to pull wires. There's professional wire pullers here that are very good. I mean, not you, Eric. Not you. These are long black wires. You've never seen these, Eric. You've never seen these.
I don't know why Eric also felt the pain there.
Yeah, 100%.
He mentioned his name. He was just like, I had a wank this morning.
That was
now.
personal, yeah.
Yeah.
That was personal.
And Eric, I keep
You've
telling you,
exposed yourself.
having a skommel is a gift from our forefathers. You must not feel guilty, boy. Just don't do it in front of people anymore, please. Just
Without consent.
Just do it privately. Just do it privately. And for God's sake, stop screaming Jonathan's name.
Jonas!
Thought I heard something earlier.
Yeah. So in terms of accepting just about everything. I mean, I remember you being thrown into the deep end on Man Cave. Yanez slips out, and you know, you are kind of brought in, and I know that there's been a lot of heat, kind of you and Yanez being those it guys for so many years, silent, healthy, beautiful competition. But you slide in, and I remember you first quiet until the camera goes, and then this deep, beautiful confidence comes through. How long did it take you to accept you, everything about you, the way you look? That's going to be a
It must have
problem
been
for you.
difficult to
Hard,
So
hard, because he's also aging better than you know what I
You
mean.
can, I don't know. You know what? You can do a whole podcast on good-looking people and their self-esteem issues. I can
So
tell you
that's
that, but
that's
yeah.
why
for
that's
sure.
why I bring it up. That's why I bring it up, because I think that people think it's easy. And then people that are not good looking go, shut up, what are you complaining about? It's the same like when a rich person says money doesn't make you happy. There's a poor guy going, yeah, but it's not holding you back. It's not hurting you. You know what I mean? It's not exactly blocking you from your happiness. So were there many, in terms of accepting yourself, were there many perceptions externally that you had to get through and get over to become the solid human that you are today?
Yeah, I'm still learning to accept many things. You know, I don't think you ever fully accept, especially in this industry.
100%.
Under
Because you have
magnifying
different
glass.
moods.
Yeah. So it's a journey of, I think the biggest thing was accepting the fact that I didn't want to be normal. And I didn't want to fit in. Because that's very difficult.
Yes.
It's mind-blowing how many people want to be extraordinary, but they also want to fit in and be normal.
And want everybody to like them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
By wanting to be normal, you are by definition aiming for average.
Yes. Ooh, and I like that your face, because I also hate that word. I hate average.
Yeah.
I hate the middle of
Why
anything.
would you want to be average?
And now I see it with I talk about my nephew again and the youngsters with social media and wanting to fit in and being so scared to be something different. And I was the same. You know, when you're young and you're growing up and you just want to fit in, you don't want to be different, you don't want to be teased. And I think the moment I accepted that, you know, because it happens to me often when someone goes, "You're so weird," that's just not normal.
Yeah.
It's the biggest compliment for me now.
Yes.
I'm so glad,
That
because
is
the
the
first time I
biggest
went to your
compliment
house,
for me.
I'd never seen so many fucking mirrors in one. God damn it. I had never
We
seen.
can do a whole podcast on that as
And I
well.
mean, he knows I'm not joking, bro. An incredible view and lots of mirrors. You know, when you walk into John's apartment,
You
know
have
what's
to
up.
accept yourself.
You know what's up.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, yeah.
So that's it. And where were we now? I'm thinking about all my mirrors.
About being
all the
different.
memories.
Oh,
Being-
no, just accepting that it's okay to be different.
Yeah, and to be extraordinary. Yeah, because it's a difficult thing, just to be different and to stand out, because there's conflict in both. Because if you're fitting in, you've got the internal conflict of being, this is not 100% me.
Yeah.
If you're
Betraying yourself.
if you're being extraordinary, you've got the external conflict of everybody else going,
What are you
what is
doing?
wrong with you? So different. Like I use the alcohol thing as well, because it's mind blowing to me as well that people are, when you're going out and not drinking, you're the one that's weird.
Yeah, you're the
Yeah,
weirdo.
yeah, yeah.
Or we go, oh, what did you go through? What's happening?
If you put under pressure,
something
what's
wrong,
wrong with
yeah.
you? Yeah,
Yeah.
when it should be the other way around, and it comes down to perception again. So it's a
I feel like it's even more difficult now with social media.
No, yeah,
Because
100%.
pressure.
It saddens me so much to see how we have these trends of this is the challenge.
Yeah,
and
trends as well to me, I give shivers. Like
everybody's
it's the
got
worst
to do the challenge. We all have
Yeah.
to do the same thing the same way.
Yeah.
And it drives me crazy. It's the reason I send my kids to a private school, was because the school allows them to be different, to be themselves,
Yes.
to grow.
So not all private
100%.
schools, that specific
yeah,
school. Yes.
that specific
Yeah.
school. Because the thing that killed me at school was we all had to do the same thing, dress the same, look the same,
Yeah,
hair's
cuts
got to
the
be
Yeah.
the same.
And I was always the one who just didn't do well with rules there. I was
struggle,
same.
bro.
yo,
Stupid rules.
I
Make me mad.
I
I
remember
questioned everything, and I just used to get. Then the problem was when back in the day you'd get like a caning,
swift
and then you
backhand,
just
yeah.
kicked out the class rather than engage in a conversation. So it kind of made me very combative when it
So
came
then-
to you don't tell me what to do, don't tell me that this is how it should be.
that thing is very important that you just said now, because I think that, like you said, your kids, you've put them in an environment that encourages being different and individuality and makes it okay. So everybody's got a different hairstyle, everybody speaks differently, and everybody's comfortable. Where you're right, we all went to schools where
Very strict, yeah.
uniformity, look the same, talk the same, do the same. I do a bit about how excited I was when the schools in El Dorado Park set up that Guara for a Guara competition.
Yeah.
And the reason it excited me was because when I went to school there, only academia was appreciated. So if you weren't a good student, A, B, or C's, you were just neglected, and nobody, people pretend like there wasn't a future for you. And the fact that they're now embracing things like wit, things like creativity, is phenomenal, which I see at the school your boys go to. And I also see it kind of in you. I remember the when I knew that I felt like I'm broken, like there's something wrong with me, but I'm old enough to, we used to call it the Bartman. Before the electric slide, we called it the Bartman, and I hated when the club or any wedding or any dance floor would erupt into everybody doing the same move. Even though I knew the moves, I just felt like I needed to excuse myself because I don't want to move like all of you.
Yeah.
I want to move like me.
Dancing like no one's watching is a great example of being
Yes.
everyone's
is the
like,
thing
what's
that
he doing? Why is he doing that?
Yeah, 100%.
But you just got to do it. Yeah.
And it's like, so give us some tips in terms of being able to embrace that. If somebody's watching and they kind of feel like that person that, and it's weird, I just watched Stuart Taylor this week, and his new show is called Odd Man Out, and he speaks about through his life all of these times that he's identified himself as the odd man out, and now that he's got two grown boys and he's deep in his 40s, you kind of start embracing this odd man out philosophy. Did you always feel like the odd man out, and how did you start training yourself that it's okay and then to lean in even further to that?
I did always feel the odd man out, and I often tried to kind of fit in. But then, I don't know, I would always sort of check myself and kind of continue on the path of being not normal. And I don't know how it was. It's just a feeling that you follow. Like it's your gut. You know, your heart will tell you what, your head will tell you how.
That's the answer I was looking for.
Yeah.
Your heart will tell you what, your head will tell you how.
Yeah, and I've always been pretty good with following my gut and what's going
Trusting
on in my
yourself.
heart. Even if it's difficult and it's other people are saying, no, what are you doing? And be a realist. That's another thing which I hate, is if someone tells me to be a realist.
What does that even mean?
Because if you're a dreamer, like you guys are dreamers.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing,
We're here, bro.
you're doing what you love.
Yeah.
Someone will tell you, come on,
That's not going to
you're
work.
not going to make movies.
You're going
not
to tell
gonna be a
jokes for a living?
You want to be an actor? Come on, be realistic.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard that? Get a real job.
Yeah.
It's true, and what's been loud for me, and I've seen this comment pop up. Anybody who says that to you, generally has fuck all going on in their own
Oh yeah,
lives.
and
Yeah.
So
It's
no
the
one
same
who's
like the
doing
people who are commenting
scratching
on
of-
Twitter.
Yes, no
Yeah.
one who's doing more than you will say anything remotely. But people who are doing less than you,
unless it's your very old school parents who are like, you're gonna be a
no, but
let's
that's a
look
different
af-
thing.
Yeah,
That's
But that's a
when-
concern.
And you know what? I know it was so difficult for them when I had that, because I knew from a young age I used to steal my dad's video camera and make movies in the backyard. But when that conversation came of what studying is going to happen, and I said I want to do drama,
and he was like, oh.
but no, it was the most amazing thing. It was
So
like,
they were
I
with
know
you.
it was difficult, but they were like, go and get that dream. But they said just do journalism
As a
on the
backup.
side. But what I did was TV journalism, because then I would steal the video cameras from the journalism department and then make movies with my drama buddies. I shot my first sex tape on a
I was waiting for waiting for it.
on a video camera.
My man got VHS.
But you know what?
What
It's
do you
these.
know about very hot sex tape?
It's these ones.
What do you
It's
know?
these
Yeah.
cameras.
No, I know them very well.
The broadcast
Yeah.
with the VHS tapes.
It's because
Yes.
you needed a wide
Yes,
angle.
that's-
You must know each of us holding, and then this angle, and then.
Yeah.
But that's
Let's take a second. Let's take a second.
Yeah.
Let's take a second. There's women
No,
of the
and
internet.
holding,
Jonathan
like-
Boynton-Lee
and it was
VHS.
like a movie because it was with the hot exchange student. Remember American Pie?
American
Nadia?
Yes.
Pie.
They called her Nadia. So
Yes.
there was that stereotypical
Yes.
foreign exchange student would always come and she would always be hot, and it was with the
Nobody understands how hot that first American Pie was for us.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah.
They
ever
watched it on the
understands.
big screen when I was at college.
I broke my virginity soon after that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
broke my pact with the
That-
Lord.
that
I was
movie is-
like, no, very soon. I'm not going to lie.
It might be the
I'm not
most
gonna lie. I'm
important
sorry, it's
movie
in
of
your
our
internet now.
generation.
Yeah, no, it
I
was.
think it is, yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway,
when
we
she took off her
digress.
top for the first time,
yes,
little
man.
18-year-old
No, angels
me.
started singing
No,
in my
for real.
ears.
I can still hear them.
Yeah.
I can
I
still
was
hear them.
14 at the time.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that's a good age to have seen
that
it.
was
I was
where
18.
MILF became a
17
thing.
turning
Yeah,
18.
MILF,
Yes,
somewhere.
oof.
So, yes.
Have a good
Yeah.
time.
Okay, let's keep it. Let's
Back
come back.
to,
Let's
back
come
to,
back.
back to
As we
happiness,
entertain-
happiness.
As we entertain all of the MILFs that are the MILFs, people that are watching. Let's keep it neat and tidy.
Keep it tidy, yeah.
Um,
I digressed there. I just had some good memories of
Oh.
that clumpy video camera and being in strange
Yeah.
positions.
Has it made, as I change the subject immediately, and move into a position I'm more comfortable, which is one of my three. As we change positions, has it made your life? Let me rephrase. Becoming an individual, embracing your individuality, involves falling in love with yourself, accepting yourself. And I always go, you can't accept yourself until you love yourself. Is a very, very important thing. Has that made relationships difficult for you? When you accept who you are, what you are, you have a very clear picture of what you want for your life. Has it made relationships difficult?
I think what's made relationships difficult is I still haven't accepted who I am yet. And found the happiness in myself. I think once I find that, then relationships will be easy. You know what I mean?
Shit.
I feel like it's more difficult when you're older.
Absolutely. You get
to find
so
yourself.
comfortable in your routine and your rhythms, and 100% you know what you want. But,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I still haven't reached the full happiness that I know I can reach, contentment, acceptance. But I know when that happens, I will find my person. It's like I love the chasing metaphor of like happiness or many things, relationships, whatever. I like a butterfly.
Yeah.
So you try and chase a butterfly and catch it, it's going to elude you.
Yeah. It
all
looks
the
like
time.
it's slow, but it's
Yeah.
tricky, that bastard.
But take a deep breath and have a seat, and it might just come sit on your shoulder.
Yeah. I saw a thing
So
the
you've got
other
to
day.
stop chasing it and let
Yeah.
it come to you. You know.
I
That's
saw a thing that said, stop chasing the butterflies and build a beautiful garden. And the butterflies
they'll
will come to you.
Yeah, and it's the same with
and that you are the beautiful God.
Yes.
100%.
No, that's
You are-
exactly it.
you got
You are the beautiful
do
God.
what you do. That's the journey I'm on now, is trying to forgive myself for past mistakes, trying to deal with trauma of abandonment and all of that stuff, which is deeply ingrained in someone that's
100%.
adopted. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, there's no anger or
I know
any
that.
kind of
Only
any of
love.
that towards
Love and fear together, yeah.
towards my mother and father that gave me up for adoption. I've got a great relationship with biological mother.
Was
There's
there
a lot
anger?
of love.
And maybe there's
No,
no anger
never.
now. There's
There
never anger.
never was.
Do you think that your parents played a big role in the way they introduced you to that,
Absolutely, yeah.
and the way they spoke about your birth parents?
Absolutely. I think my dad was probably the most gentle soul. He's the one person on earth that I've never heard say a bad word about anybody. Once, not once. I don't know if you know anybody like that. Like, we love to gossip and
Now
talk.
everybody,
Everybody
Even
has a
me,
story.
I've often
now we
found
all-
myself
we
having to
all-
check
even
myself.
the nicest people I know.
Yeah,
have
we
in-
always love a little bit of
yeah.
a gossip. My dad, I've never heard him say in his entire lifetime, and he was 80 years old when he died. I never heard him say a bad word about anybody.
Why do you think that was?
Even in an environment where everybody's, did you see what that person
No, when the
did?"
fire, we call it when the fire's
You
been
would
started.
just kind of smile to himself and just not take part in the conversation, or would even defend these people that we were. And
Did you
But I
ever
feel
chat
like
to him
that's
about
where
that?
you find
I
your
didn't, and I
happiness.
regret it. I didn't.
Unpack it
It
and,
was
and
just.
help
I
understand.
only realized it
Yes, posthumously.
in the speech I did at his funeral when I
Shit.
was like, you know what? And I only realized at that point that he had never said a bad word about anybody.
How's his relationship with your mom?
How's my dad?
How was your dad's relationship?
They were
with your mom
together for
growing up?
59 years.
And
Yeah.
growing up, it was just all love.
It's typical marriage
normal
stuff.
marriage.
Up and down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's
Overall?
unbelievable relationship.
Do you think? Because I don't believe a man gets to a place where he doesn't say another bad word about another man unless he realizes the contentment of his life. Like I got advice, and I've said this on the podcast before, from a guy before I got married, and he said the problem with men is men very often don't commit to this being the best version of their lives. So he goes, I wash my wedding ring every morning to remind me of the choice that I made, to remind me that I choose this life, to remind me that my wife is the best version of my life. Because he says men often end up when women are able to commit and see this long future and go, this is my guy, where he says men always leave this back door open of, is there a better version of my life? Could I have done better? Is there something cooler? And what I've found in my experience is people who have accepted that this is the life they choose. I choose this life and all of the things that come with it, which is why I'm so happy you said I'm 2.5 sad, 2.5 happy. I choose this life. So I'm always like, when I hear of somebody that has never said a bad word, I always want to get in their heads and
I
go,
wish
how
I had
how do you process that? And why are you like that? Because generally humans are the opposite. Even the good ones. Even the Pope says cuck about people
We all
sometimes.
get sucked into it and say something bad, and we love a little bit of a gossip
Yeah.
session.
And also, we comedians, we make money off
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Talking
Yeah,
cuck
yeah.
about you's got me many
Exactly.
debit orders paid, bruh. Many debit orders paid. I speak often about the fact that I am Team Boompa, this is Team Vrpa. It's not, we are not the same.
And speaking of that, I'm like, you are the best wingman, eh? I must admit, whenever I've come to your shows with a
Yes,
date,
sir.
I bring a date,
Ah!
and I know you're going to say something nice about me on
True
stage.
ball king,
And
boy.
every time you've come through for me, dude.
But you know why I say nice things is because I've really got nothing bad to say. And I think that that's the thing. Bruh, every single time I've needed you in my life, you've showed up for me without a blink. Every time I've got to work with you, I've learned because you've been so professional and you're so quiet about how skilled you are. And I think that's why your relevance is still so powerful today. Because I think a lot of people who came up with you and a lot of people who kind of tick the same boxes that you tick didn't make it into the season 2, 3, 4 of their career for whatever
they are
reason.
assholes.
But I still see you, I still appreciate you, and you're still remarkably relevant. Has there been a consciousness in keeping that relevance going?
There's that external pressure now we talk about social media and staying relevant and all of that.
It's
But then
hard
it's
for
that
us.
whole thing of just checking myself and being like, I don't want to get swept up in all of that. I'm just doing this because I love it, and I'm just going to carry on doing it. And there's this weird pressure that social media puts on you, like you should be posting about this.
time,
and
all
you
the
need to
time.
be
Yeah,
posting now,
Mm.
and it's just so foreign to me. I think I've averaged about 1 post a month this year, or 2 posts.
But I think that also comes from you come from a time before you had to post
I wasn't
everything.
on social media until top billing.
And when you were on it, it was a way to connect with friends that had left the country, not a way to promote yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it became, look, it can be a very powerful tool, but it's also a very toxic place, which is why I don't follow anybody. I'm not on there. I don't get distracted by. I follow one person. It's Simba.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's another whole thing we can talk about social media. But the point is, I've always done this because I love it, and there's nothing else I could ever imagine doing. I was never a kid that wanted to be a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah, same.
I always
Yeah,
knew
yeah.
that this is what I wanted to do, is make movies and be in the industry. And
What is it about movies? Sorry, Nick, after you. No, say.
No, I was going to say that we were having a chat before we started shooting, and I asked, are you still surprised by your life? Are you still amazed? And your answer was beautiful.
What was the answer? I wasn't there.
Yeah, so are you still surprised and amazed by your life?
well, sometimes we take it for granted, but now, having made my own film,
Yes.
it's just, yeah, I mean, the gratitude that you feel in the pinch me moment. And like, I had these two dreams when I was growing up, is be on Top Billing, because I grew up watching the show, and make my own. When I say make my own film, I've acted in a lot of
100%.
films. This was our baby. We did it on our own. I wrote it. I produced it. I got together an incredible cast. You sadly weren't available.
No,
but
I remember.
you'll be in the next one.
I remember the hustle. I remember the excitement.
Yeah.
And I remember vicariously being sad that I'm not there, not
Yeah.
because I missed an opportunity to act, but that because I wasn't part of your dream coming
Yeah,
true.
and-
Because I remember what a big dream this was, and something that you saw so clearly in your mind.
Just to make a movie in South Africa is damn near impossible when you're doing it on your own. So it's just, yeah.
It's damn near impossible is an understatement. That's a very nice way of saying it.
makes
It's
it
damn fucking impossible.
all worth it. All the pain and the tears and the heartache and the stress and the creative sacrifices that were made because of budget constraints. And I use a great example. Tom Cruise was shooting at the same time as us.
Yes, I
And
remember
we
that.
were shooting an action scene on our day.
Yeah,
And we had enough budget for 2 blanks. So you can fire the gun twice.
yes, and that's
After that, you must cheat it. Somehow the
That's
oak
it.
must drop down. You mustn't see blood. Squibs, we had 1.
Shooting for real now.
And yeah.
Duck!
Exactly. make the gun sound with your mouth, and then maybe we'll fix it in post. And then Tom Cruise was shooting that motorcycle stunt at the same time, where they crashed I don't know how many motorcycles off
Yes.
that cliff. He's like, let's do another one. I wasn't happy with that one. And it just put into perspective how difficult it is making movies
It's
here. And then people are so critical. I always say I wish people could come and be on set with us,
100%.
and you will never criticize another South African movie.
I used to criticize, and this is how because I only started in the industry when I was 30. What would frustrate me before that is I would watch British Top Gear, and then I would watch a South African car show and be so angry.
Yeah.
I'd be so angry, guys. You're so useless.
And now
How
you-
can
Why
you-
are we still
now I
reviewing
understand.
it? You appreciate
and here
it.
was and where the context came from weirdly was when I dressed up as you. It was Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah.
Strictly Come Dancing, famously, 2015, I learned the South African season, 26 episodes, or
Yes.
however many episodes it has. The whole season has less budget than one episode
episode.
in the UK.
Yeah, yeah.
Less budget. Not even the same as...
And that's considered a big budget
100
show.
and that
in
was a
South
big budget
Africa.
show, yeah. And that was at the
Yeah.
time one of the biggest budget shows. What do you mean you're going out live?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then when you think about that as South Africans, bear that in mind, that anything you see created locally, I can guarantee you Jonathan's movie cost less than 1%.
It was a coffee budget of
Yes,
Tom Cruise.
not even, and that was the Frisco budget, not the Nespresso.
Not even the fancy
the Frisco, not that was for the extras
Yeah.
coffee, not for
Yeah.
the
But we got the most amazing moment for me on that was when the actors that I'd written the parts for, this is like a Tarantino flex.
Yeah.
Like you write
Yeah.
these characters with a particular actor in mind,
Yes.
and they say, hell yes, I'll do it.
You know why? Because Jonathan is a nice guy. He's a
I
nice
mean, I'd
guy.
like to think they enjoyed the script, but
No,
they
they-
love the script,
Yeah, yeah,
but
but
they,
that was- yeah.
dude, nobody's gonna. People are earning their money by doing acting, by doing whatever. They're not gonna say yes if
Just
the
because-
budget's
yeah,
not right,
yeah.
unless they're
Yes.
doing it for somebody where they go, I want to be part
It's
of
true,
this
and
thing.
they
It's
did
the
it for me, and
man-
I'll forever be grateful because people did so many favors.
I
on this
guarantee you they all still feel like they owe you a favor, and that's because you show up the way you show up, and it's that consistency. It's that I know if I see Jonathan on set, there's nothing else to question. He's gonna know his part. There's no, the guy just coming. It's also once you book Jonathan, there's no other questions, where we deal with artists every day where, yeah, you've booked them, yeah, they've said yes, but until you see them, until you
and you'll see them
them
2 hours after call
Yeah.
time if you're lucky.
And
that
still
seems
with
to be a
attitude.
norm. It seems to
they
be a
come
norm.
2 hours after
Yeah.
call time and still ask, where's my vodka?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. No,
We-
that's
you
why I
know
say-
yourselves.
That's why I was saying earlier, you guys deserve all of it, because you actually have the talent. You're doing amazing things. You're asking people if they're happy. You know how important that is.
Bruh.
Nowadays, you run into someone you haven't seen in a while. They're like, "You got kids? Have you got a house? What
People go
work
through
are you
the-
doing?"
yeah,
And it's
quick,
like
quick,
it's like
quick.
it's some kind of grocery list that you got to
Yeah.
tick off, and no
Yeah.
one asks, "Are you happy?"
It's something that destroys me, because I think that deep down it's something that we all chase. Even people who say they got no care about happiness, everybody's chasing it at some point. But I think that, and as we kind of wrap up, I think firstly, thank you for reaffirming for us that what we're talking about is on the right track. Thank you for all of those deep bombs. I wish we had. I think we need to do a special edition Simba episode where we can vicariously interview Simba by
Yeah.
sharing our experiences and what we
That'll be awesome, man.
what we kind of learned. And if you didn't know, let me tell you, Simba was a force that even those closest to him would struggle to articulate what it was about the guy.
It's funny because even people who didn't know him
Yeah.
talk about what you're talking about.
Yes.
That force, that energy.
Our
that
force.
just permeated through the screen and through his pictures, and it was like an aura. Yeah.
An aura, and then you just needed to spend 2 minutes with him
yeah.
to be comfortable in that aura. Because a lot of people, you feel like, oh, I don't want to hang out with a guy that loves himself that much. I remember meeting Sivingesi, and I said to him, "Hey, how are you, brother?" And he said, "I'm amazing, thanks. How are you, brother?" And I was like, "Who the fuck is there amazing?" Then you spend a week with Siv, and you go, "Oh shit, he is amazing." That's why he says it.
Yeah.
And Simba's half man, half amazing. You go, he is amazing. So we definitely got to do that episode. What I do want us to do is just wrap up. So let's do the official Goliath Happiness Index. It is 1 being as low as possible, 5 being as high as possible. And I love that articulation. So I'm going to ask you again anyway.
Yeah.
Where are you? Gratitude 1 to 5.
Well, we've answered it. I think.
5,
It's the
2
same.
plus.
It's the same all for all of them. It's a 2.5 unhappy. It's a 2.5 happy. It's a 2.5 still accepting myself. It's a 2.5 I have accepted myself.
And I like that because some days it'll be a 4 and a
it
1.
it's a
And
fluctuating
some days
scale.
it'll be a 1 and a
but
4.
it averages out. It averages out straight in the middle.
Yes, man.
And together they make me grateful, happy, and in a good place with perception. And
So acceptance, you're going to say same thing, 2.5, 2.5. I
it's
love that
everything.
It's the same.
you admit, like all of us, we're honest, we're still on a journey. Because some days it's easy to accept yourself.
yeah.
Some days it's easy. I spoke to Stuart Taylor the other day. I go, "Hey, bro, you were right. You sounded so sad last week." And he went, "Oh, no, I'm fine, bro. Last week, that was before invoices came in. I had so many bills on the table. I couldn't see the light. But everything's been paid at 100. Couldn't be better. Would you like a drink?" So it's also, some days it's easier to
It's a
accept. Some
fluctuating
days
scale,
it's-
and on the same day you can feel like you're bipolar. You can be an extreme low and an extreme high, and that's fine.
Yeah.
You got to ride the wave,
And you've got to understand that these things are happening.
It's
Because I feel
normal,
like a lot of people still have that perception that I must be happy throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, throughout the year. Otherwise, I'm depressed, I'm sad. And I feel like social media also makes it okay for everyone to be depressed. Everyone's
Yes.
got to.
No,
It's a competition.
Yeah,
So
like
if you're feeling upset, do not go on social media.
Yes.
No.
Go, have you watched the what is it? The Antisocial Network.
No.
It's a new documentary about that. Remember that hacker group Anonymous
Oh yeah,
that took over the world.
yeah.
So I watched that documentary, and they had this anonymous platform for AAF, whatever it was called. But it was like a social media, kind of before social media. But everybody on the app is anonymous, so no names,
Yeah.
no names. And what that bred was crazy. It showed
Yeah.
that human beings are inherently a little bit evil.
Evil.
But it also showed that human beings, when left to their own devices, will now compete about how sad and depressed I am. Like it becomes a competition. I'm more depressed than you. Then I go, the second you're starting to compare your pain to anybody else's pain, you've lost. I learned today that acceptance is also accepting that it's a journey. So like accepting that it's 2.5, accepting that there's going to be days that I fully accept myself and days that I don't is part of the
Yeah,
acceptance.
and don't fight that. Don't fight that when it comes. Just feel it.
Yes, accept it.
Yeah, accept it. Feel
It's
it.
part of who you are.
Embrace those emotions. Have a good cry. Speak to the person that's close to you. Figure it out because it's there for a reason. Don't just brush it aside and be like, I've got to snap out of this, man. I've got to be happy again. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to be happy all the time.
The world makes it feel like everything must be happening now. You must be
Yeah.
happy, you must be on it, you must be pushing.
Exactly.
You must be...
And the busyness thing as well is also dangerous. Like, it's become cool to be busy all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Like, no,
yeah.
sorry, I'm busy. It's so unhealthy.
Also, when you realize that busyness and success are not the same
No,
thing.
no.
Just because you're busy, don't mean you're
time
successful.
is
Busy
actually
doing
wealth.
nothing.
Time is the ultimate wealth. Having
Yes.
time.
It's I spoke to a bra of mine that immigrated, and I phoned him and he said to me, "Bra, I'm having a beer day." It was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon in Australia. And I go, "A beer day, what does that mean?" He said, "No, I'm having my second beer for the day." I said, "Okay, but what does that mean?" He said, "No, I cut the lawn today, and therefore I'm rewarding myself." Then I said, "My man, you sold your house in River Club, where you
put
had
your
many
Porsche
people
on a
working on the
boat."
lawn. You put your Porsche on a ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
One of those guys, and now you're cutting." And then he said to me, "Jay, you don't understand how time rich you are as a South African." I said, "What is that? What does that mean?" He said, "You don't understand how long it takes to cut the grass, how long it takes to do the laundry, how long it takes to do all of your own things." And it re-emphasized how important that time is wealth, time is success.
Yeah.
And it's one of the things I think that we're clearly working for now. It's like, you know, and I can look at people and go, COVID cured me of the disease of more. I don't need more things. I don't need more than anybody else.
Just give me time.
100%. It means my only competitor is me yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm literally just trying to be better than that guy. If I can be better than me yesterday, I've won, which changes the way I look at what everybody else is doing. I
Yeah.
can celebrate everybody's wins because I'm only competing with me yesterday.
And
That's
the scary thing is we're in our 40s now, I'm assuming.
Yep,
Yeah.
just
In your
just
40s?
touch the 40s.
Yeah, I'm mid-40s now.
are we all 1980
So,
boys here?
Yeah. We used to, when we were younger, say, one day I'm going to do this.
Yes.
One day is now.
Yeah, that's today.
It's like we're 40 now. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we were talking about. Like, we better start acting like it, you know, and like one day has come.
Final tidbit on managing your perspective.
Managing perspective.
Yeah.
Take a drive through Joburg CBD. That'll give you perspective on your life and where you are, and feed into the gratitude and feed it. Yeah, it's
So simple.
so simple.
It's that standard.
So simple.
Or Joburg, just stop at a robot.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Stop at a
Anyway.
robot. Yeah.
Anyway in Joburg. Yeah, stop at a robot.
Anyway, in
Yeah.
South Africa.
Stop at a robot, and if that robot is working, even
Yeah,
if
stop
it's
at a
not
robot.
working.
See how many people come and children performing on the side of the road and people asking for money, and it really puts things into perspective.
You realize very quickly
And-
you've got nothing to complain about.
Yeah, yeah.
I love you, my brother.
I love you.
I thank you for
Love you
always
lots.
sharing your heart with me and with us. And thank you for being a great South African. Like, one of the greatest I've ever had the fortune of meeting. And thank you, most importantly, for making time for the Happiness Economy podcast.
Thank you, and thank you guys. It was an honor. Like I
For
said,
being
I'm
kind.
a massive fan.
Ah, bruh.
Huge fan. I must come watch again when you're coming to Joburg. You're coming back to Joburg with the show, eh?
Yeah,
What, yes, 21st of December, we are at Silver Star.
I'll
That's
make sure
our,
I have a date lined up and you just say
nothing wrong.
Yeah.
We are caught you.
And I was telling Jonathan how we had the discussion about how we've been getting by on good enough.
Yes.
Which is not good enough anymore.
It's a very interesting thing that, and I think a lot of us suffer from that, particularly in this happiness thing as well, where you kind of realize that nobody writes. The problem with good enough is nobody writes a letter of complaint.
Yeah.
Nobody,
Which makes it okay to keep doing
100%. And nobody
complacency.
comes up to you, and it's only you that can bridge. So there's so many gaps. So we speak about the gap between good and great, and that will reflect in your life. And if you're not willing to bridge the gap between good and great, then you must accept average. You must be okay with mediocre. You must be okay with being middle of the road.
And we are
But
not
it's
okay.
but that's it can be the plight of the creative though. Is it like because people watch your shows and it's unbelievable. Like these guys are incredible. But will we ever be as creatives? Like with the movie, I know there's so many things that I would have done
No,
better.
100%.
Things I'm not happy with.
I don't.
Are we
think
ever
you-
going to be happy?
And
with
I
what
think
we-
that we must always keep that hunger. I think that the quality in our art
absolutely
comes
yeah,
from that hunger and
Yeah.
comes from that almost impossible to be 100% satisfied.
But give yourself credit.
No. So we are taking credit, and I think that. So, for example, and what we're speaking about now is the fact that our show, the Happiness Economy, the comedy show, the live version on stage, we've used our experience to make it great. But what we haven't done is investigate how we can enhance the audience experience and take it to another level, which is very exciting for us. So when we go, it's good enough, not great. It's exciting for us because it means we haven't. It's not over. There's
Absolutely,
meat on
that's
the bone,
exciting.
there's
Yeah,
angles.
Like you were saying with the movie,
100%.
Yeah, the next
your
one
next
I know.
movie,
yeah.
you know
Yes,
exactly what you're going to fix, what you want to
100%,
change.
yeah. They understand.
And also you remember that you made that movie completely hamstrung. So then you have to be even kinder to yourself. So we also look at the show with the same thing and go, anything you see with the happiness economy on it at the moment loses money. You know what I mean? That's just our kind of investment in ourselves and talking to something that we are moved to talk about. I mean, we do the show and people go, is it a calling? And then Nick and I have looked at ourselves and gone, oh, shit, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is a calling. I think
Right
it's something
thing,
that
right
we'll...
reason.
As
Yeah.
long as we take moments and just give a little.
No, 100%.
We're done.
No,
good.
and we take that.
Yeah.
But what we are excited about is, I think like my deep fear as an artist is getting to a point where it's all of a sudden over. Like there's no more on the bone, there's no more inspiration,
Yeah.
there's no more like, I remember chatting to David Cow about not feeling inspired and him saying, oh, you're hanging out with the wrong people.
Yeah.
And him saying, change your friend circle. If you're lacking inspiration, change who you're hanging
You'll
out
always
with.
be hungry.
Otherwise, because if you are now all of a sudden the best in your group, you've got nothing, you've got no more. Everybody
Yeah.
looks up to you. You're the big dog. No. You've got to change that. So it's those simple things that I just think keep us bubbling and keep us
Great
moving.
talent comes with great responsibility.
My man.
Yes, man.
And on that note, and on that note, Greg, look into that camera and tell us who you are and why people should watch your episode of the Happiness Economy podcast.
I'm Jonathan Boynton-Lee, and you should watch my episode of the Happiness Podcast because sandwiched between these two sexy beasts of man meat, I'm going to look even better.
Yes. It's like a chicken sandwich on rye today, baby. It's a chicken sandwich on rye. Okay, one slice of rye, one slice of full wheat.
Brown.
It's not even whole wheat, it's a full wheat.
Brown.
Full
Brown.
wheat.
That's why.
Full wheat. No, it's not brown. It's that other brown. You know that brown where the seeds are in. Everything is in. You while you're eating, you know that one very much. Very much.
Seedy.
Yeah. It's
Good for your system. Though.
yes, a chicken mayo sandwich. But it's spicy.
I love you guys.